Just need to change the whole game plan for week 3. Listen, it's a lot of things going on in my DFS lineups, and just need to change the whole game plan.
You are now tuned in to the 411 for your fantasy football with your host, Autumn Wind Williams.
What's going on, guys? It's your boy, Autumn Wind Williams. You're now tuned into the 411 for your fantasy football. We are now at week 3. That was my little Matt Mcgloin challenge right there. Boy, was he mad about everything in week 3. And can't blame him. First it was him. And, first it was his offensive line, receivers not catching the ball. But he made some very stupid mistakes, I must say, too, for week 3. But, it was still a fun weekend watching XFL football. I just felt like he needed to be more like Landry Jones, who kind of not really made fun of the way that he played horrible, even though he did get over 300 yards. He sounded more like a leader when it came to the interviews on the sideline. I love these interviews on the sideline, and it just showed what the realism is like on the sideline when the mic's off. That's something very interesting that the XFL has brought to us in football. And I wouldn't be surprised if the NFL tried to do something like this too. But yeah, it's your boy Autumn Wind Williams here for the 411 for your fantasy football. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at the 411 DFS. I'm here to provide you my quarterback, running back, wide receiver, flex spot, and defense that I'm going to have in my main lineup for week 3. I know a lot of DFS providers will provide you a huge amount of players for each position, and not that many tell you who they're actually going to be playing in their main lineup. I feel like that is a little bit better for me to do, so you know who's exactly on my mind as far as playing in my main lineup for, a bigger jackpot. So you might want to consider playing, and it's just to give you another confirmation if you're thinking about those same guys, or maybe you want to hedge against me. I mean, nothing against other DFS providers, how they do their thing, providing a bunch of players in each position, but that's just not the way I do things. I like to stay in my own lane and do things my way. But yeah, so I'm going to get into it right now at quarterback, who I have this week. I know a lot of people are going to definitely be playing Phillip Walker, and I don't blame them. But, Phillip Walker is way up at the very top when it comes to selecting the quarterback, and it makes it more difficult picking my wide receivers that I actually want to play in my lineup. So first I want to let you guys know, if you're playing some Phillip Walker or any Houston Roughnecks or Tampa Bay Vipers, look out for the weather. It's going to be a bit breezy, looking at 10 to 15 miles per hour winds. So that's possibly going to mess up a lot of the deep throws, kicks, if you're playing kickers. I doubt if you're playing kickers, but yeah, just keep an eye on that. By game time, you want to see what the weather is actually looking like in any game, really, each week. But who I have at quarterback is going to be Cordell Jones from the DC Defenders going against the LA Wildcats. I told you guys last week I was going to pick on the Wildcats a lot because they're very dysfunctional on offense and defense, especially after trading Anthony Johnson to the DC Defenders. This is going to be a revenge game for him too, as well as Rashad Ross. But back to my quarterback, what I was saying, I'm picking Cordell Jones. He completed 23 of his 37 passes for 276 yards and got 2 touchdowns. He did throw an interception, but it was a shutout over New York Guardians, 27-0. Cordell has a little bit of rushing ability too, but I kind of get concerned when he started trying to scramble or rush. He ended up getting the fumble week 1 and week 2, and I don't want him to go out there and get any more, so I'd rather him stay in the pocket and throw deep to his wide receivers. And as I mentioned, Rashad Ross, though, I don't think I'm going to put him in my main lineup, but I wouldn't hate if you did. because, like I said, it is a revenge game for him. He went on Twitter and made a tweet. He said, "I'm not about to do a lot of talking about LA, how LA did me. This game is personal. They gotta feel me. Hashtag on my daddy." So he's ready to go out there and put in some work. But I'm just looking at how many targets he get. He only got like 7 targets the past 2 weeks, although he is number 2 at receiving yards in the XFL. So, like I said, I wouldn't blame you if you put him in your lineups. I'm not sure if I am yet. Right now I'm saying no, but you never know. By game time, I might try to stick him in there if I got room. But as far as Philip Walker, too, against the Wildcats, he got 4 touchdowns. And Landry Jones, he got 305 yards, as I mentioned earlier. Over 300 yards, even though he felt like he didn't play that great. When the Wildcats is allowing these 2 quarterbacks to play that type of game, why not play Cordell Jones? Because a lot of sharp people out there in the industry are already calling Cordell Jones the best quarterback in the league. Even though I think it's Philip Walker, it's an argument. It's an argument where each side can win, whether it's Cordell Jones or Philip Walker. But yeah, that's who I have as my quarterback for week 3. Moving on to running back. I know some of you guys going to probably be looking at me crazy while you're watching this video when I say who's my running back. You know what? Let me check something right quick before I even say that. I want to see as far as what's going on with the injury report, if I got any Wi-Fi. Where's the game that I'm looking for, though? I think it's on Sunday. Let me see. Let me scroll down. I'm going to have to go back to this injury report later on. So I still got a few more lineups I need to build. Darius Victor, probable. Damian Washington, questionable still. Keith Ford, questionable. Matt Jones, questionable. Oh, shoot. The guy that I was selecting was Keith Ford because I kind of think Matt Jones is going to sit. But if both of them are out, I'm going to have to figure out some kind of way to work in Christine Michael. The reason why I was picking Keith Ford, though, is because I feel like if Matt Jones ended up playing and Keith Ford is active as well, Christine Michael is going to see less touches. But if both of those two are out, Christine Michael is going to be the main running back you should use because it's not going to be anybody else, really, unless they got some 4th-string guy that can go out there and relieve on 3rd down or something every now and then. So running back is really questionable. And this is where I'm applying Matt Mcgloin's adjustment as far as changing the whole offensive game plan. Which brings me to, I was playing 2 running backs in 15 of my lineups, trying to be contrarian and win more jackpot money if it hit. And I only had like 5 lineups where it was tons of receivers and just 1 running back. Moving forward, it looked like your boy is just going to be playing 1 running back because I told you guys before, this is a passing league. I don't knock you if you do try to play 2 running backs, but please do not play more than 2 running backs in your lineups because, you will not win likely. But I wanted to play Keith Ford, though, man. Especially because I know St. Louis Battlehawks, they're going to be running its ball a lot. They ran the ball 55% of the time. And the Battlehawks, I think they're going to try to get ahead early throwing the ball against the Guardians and then focus more on the run game because they got a pretty good defense, especially going against the New York Guardians and Matt Mcgloin, who's probably going to be sitting maybe the 3rd quarter if he played a game like he did last week. They might not even start him, though, because the attitude, the vibe he brought around the whole entire team, it can probably affect the locker room in a bad way where they lose confidence. So I'm not really expecting Matt Mcgloin to play that much, but hey, you never know. But this is the first home game in St. Louis, and what I'm hearing is they're sold out. They sold 32,000 tickets. The lower area, they didn't fill the upper part because they didn't have enough concessions people, is what I'm hearing. But yeah, 32,000 fans attending the first week at St. Louis for week 3. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be loud. They're playing in the dome. That's a plus right there. And New York might not be able to handle that. And Matt McGloin, he might be pissed off to the highest pistivity, if that is a word. But moving on to wide receiver, I have Draftkings from DC Defenders. You know, I feel like I should be playing this guy because I was looking at how many targets he got once that game started. Rashad Ross was like MIA until the second half. I think like third or fourth quarter, really. He got some here and there early in the game, but it was mainly Draftkings nonstop. He was playing as the number one receiver damn near, you know. And he got how many? Let's see. Tompkins was targeted by Cordell Jones 9 times. He got 6 of those passes for 92 yards, so he didn't get that 100 bonus. But I think this week he can probably get that 100-yard bonus. He got a touchdown last week. Probably can repeat that as well for week 3. So that's who I'm definitely going to be stacking with Cordell Jones in my main lineup. And like I said, I might think about putting in Ross, but now it looks like I'm going to have to pay higher at running back. And that's another reason why I wanted to play Keith Ford too, because he's only $4,000 on Draftkings. And that allows me to do so much with my wide receivers that I want to do. But yeah, I'm going to have to reevaluate. You know, I'm just getting off of work, so I didn't know a lot of these guys were questionable yet. And we got less than 24 hours to make our decisions. So I'm getting put in a bit of a conundrum right here while I'm doing this video. I thought everything was all said and done. Get off of work and just post this video and it's a done deal. But damn, I'm going to have to do overtime, resetting my lineup, and try to figure out what running back I'm going to use. But I definitely think it's going to be on the St. Louis Battlehawks. And Tompkins is definitely going to be my wide receiver. I can let you know that. I'm stacking him with Cordell Jones. But in my flex spot, I got Donald Parham. He's probable, thank God. From the Dallas Renegades. Parham, you know, he was absent on Tuesday practice with a foot, but he's good right now. He caught 5 of his 11 targets for 76 yards with a touchdown last week. I think total he got 17 targets, I believe, the last 2 weeks. So, you know, he's doing pretty good. He's getting recognized by his quarterback, Landry Jones. So I'm expecting that chemistry to continue for week 3. At defense, this is where I'm excited to really play. Battlehawks, St. Louis Battlehawks, like I said, they're going to be handling business against the LA Wildcats, Cougars, Kittens, whatever you want to call them. And like I said, it is an Anthony Johnson revenge game. He's going to be trying to go after your boy, Josh Johnson. You know, everybody think he's so much of a good quarterback and this and that, but, you know, he came back for his first game in the XFL and only got 3 rushing yards. And everybody talked on and on ever since the season started that he has rushing ability, high upside, blah, blah, blah. But he went out there and only got 3 rushing yards. And he completed only 18 of 34 attempts for 196 yards. I think he's still injured. And if he's still injured, Anthony Johnson might make him end up injured even more if he get a couple sacks on him. Not wishing him any harm. Never do that. But I don't think he's going to do that great. Facing the St. Louis Battlehawks in St. Louis, these fans are excited out there, man. Like I said, 32,000 tickets sold out game. I doubt that it would be any New York fans there that cheer Matt Mcgloin on after everybody was so pissed off last week. So home field advantage is going to be a plus. So that's what I have for you guys right now. I know it's a little bit crumbly for this lineup this week, but like I said, I just got off and I can't use my phone at work. I got a micromanaged employer that likes to make sure that we're focused on nothing but work. But I'm giving you as much as I can right now. Like I said, check the weather for Houston Roughnecks, Tampa Bay Vipers in Tampa Bay. It's going to be high winds. At quarterback, I got Cordell Jones, DC Defenders. At running back, it is questionable whether it's going to be Keith Ford, Christine Michael, or Matt Jones. I'm pushing for Keith Ford because he's only $4,000. That way I can put in more wide receivers that I want to use. And I'm only using mainly one running back in most of my lineups. I might try to put in two, maybe 5 times, since I was putting in one running back 5 times past 2 weeks. Try to switch it up. Change my offensive game plan. And at wide receiver, I'm going to have Tompkins. And for the DC Defenders, I'm going to have Donald Parham in my flex spot from the Dallas Renegades. And at defense, I do have the Battlehawks from St. Louis. So that's the 411 scoop for you guys for your fantasy football. Like I said, don't forget to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. And also make sure you like, subscribe, and comment below. Tell me who you playing. You think you got a better lineup than me? Prove it, brother. Yes. So put it down below. Let me know. Holla. I'm out. Peace.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the 411 Podcast. Now get ready to make that money. And don't forget to follow us on Twitter at the 411 DFS.